I guess we're live, folks. Welcome to Tuesday at Tunes Record Shop with Richard Barone. Unbelievable.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a huge crowd.
It is a nice crowd.
It's look at this. So here we are. How's the see? I'm the producer, director. Well, I'm not the producer. I'm sorry.
Frida, you're amazing.
Jerry Fallow is the producer. But anyway, I'm just making sure that everything's okay. So, Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing, man?
Thanks for having
It's
me
awesome.
on the show.
This is awesome. So, as the show always begins, I ask the dumb question of, you've written a book about it, but how did you get your start, Richard Barone? And how did it happen? Because it's, not common knowledge. I don't know.
Well, I have, I think, an interesting start in that when I was 7 years old, as an asthmatic child at home, obsessed with listening to the top 40 radio station, was listening to music a lot as a kid, right? And I wanted to meet the DJs because I had this desire to be part of it, be part of what was on the radio somehow. So I asked my mom to bring me to the radio station WALT AM in Tampa, Florida, and I got to meet the DJs, and they put me on the air immediately.
They put you on the air?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 7.
7?
And I got to introduce some records, and
What does a 7-year-old do?
a 7-year-old gets to. Was that the theme for Sanford and Son?
That was. That's Carlos's ring.
Listen. So WALT Radio had a show every Sunday called Beach Party. This is Florida, so it's, of course they have a show called Beach Party. It was live from Municipal Beach in Tampa, Florida. And they, after hearing my voice, they got phone calls. People liked the little DJ. I introduced a record. I believe it was a Donovan record. And they asked me, can you come back next week and be on the show? And I said, yes, of course. And I started doing a weekly show called Beach Party. I was the little DJ.
That's crazy. Did they pay you?
They did not pay me in money, but I got lot of records, and I got all the records that were coming out because I got to choose and listen to what to play. And I started learning about records, and labels, producers, artists, and songwriters, obsessively. I grew up with this obsession from age 7, basically. My mother got me guitar lessons at that age. I got a guitar, a Silvertone.
At 7?
Electric guitar. I had an electric guitar first, yeah. I had an electric guitar. It was really cool because it came with its own amp in the case.
That's crazy. So
Have you ever seen those? The case had an amp
those
built in.
are fantastic.
I wish I still had it, but I traded it in high school for a 12-string acoustic when I got into folk music.
So was it the kind of thing where before the age of 7 you were just always thinking about music, like when you first heard a song?
I was really obsessed from seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Is that really? How old were you when that happened?
We're that similar age.
About that age, yeah.
And maybe a little bit younger. And I wanted to play. I wanted to do music.
You started, that's all you ever did?
That's all I ever did. And then the thing about the radio station and my connection with being on radio and speaking to people and knowing at that age, which was terrifying, that thousands of people were hearing me speak.
That's great.
Got me, I don't know, I got off on that. I liked it. And it also made me very cocky and it made me very
Fame is a seductive mistress.
It made me able to go meet musicians and talk to them. And because of that, when people came through town, now Tampa was not a hotbed for concerts.
Really? You'd think it would be.
It wasn't. A few bands came through, but I got to meet them. I got to go see them. I got to meet the artists, and I got especially Tiny Tim.
Oh, no way.
Especially Tiny Tim, because he was not famous at that point. So this is like a little few years later. I'm in high school, so this is like 70s, etc. Tiny Tim was not famous anymore. He was playing at a Travelodge motel on the side of the highway. But he was the one who's
at
like
a motel.
He we couldn't. We were underage, so we couldn't see his show. So Tiny said, "Well, what if I perform for you in my hotel room?" Now, at first, I was a little bit suspicious because I tend to be prudish in some ways, but he was completely legitimate. He really did the whole show for us in his hotel room. And
the whole show?
Yes.
Oh,
He
man.
played all these songs, a lot of
That
songs
is a
from
guy.
the 1920s and 30s. And I asked,
All on uke.
he played for me and my two friends, two girls, two female friends. And then I said, well, I'm a record producer.
So how old were you then when you
16. I said, I'm a record producer. Could I come back tomorrow and record you doing this? And he said, yes. So I started recording tapes of him, Tiny Tim. And then
why he was in town or something?
he was in town in those days, he would play he was like a Florida tour, like
the
a week in
Travelodge.
Tampa, a week in Miami, a week in
That's
whatever.
kind of, that's hard.
Yeah.
We have a hard life.
I know.
But so what was your? I just
Then I got him into the studio and made an album called "I've Never Seen a Straight
So
Banana."
you produced a Tiny Tim
Yeah,
album
you can
at
find it on all
17 or
streaming
so?
Yes, I was 16.
I mean, that's
you can find it on all
fascinating.
streaming services. It's called "I've Never Seen a Straight
I
Banana."
can't even believe that.
Well,
man.
that
I
was
feel
what
like such a
he thought
punk.
that was going to be a hit. That song. It's a 1933 song, and Mr. Barone, this will get us. We're going to be in Hollywood
What
by
was the
Christmas.
song?
I've never seen a straight banana.
That is a great title. Oh my God.
If you want to know how I started, it's a combination of being on the radio, meeting musicians along the way, and then meeting Tiny Tim, who said, "Mr. Barone, you should be in Greenwich Village,"
Wow.
which is where he got his start, playing
Yeah.
in lesbian bars.
So he
Yeah.
only played uke.
He played guitar sometimes.
Played guitar too.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you
He plays
produced,
acoustic.
so at 16 you said, Tiny Tim, I want to produce a record
Yeah.
with you, and that really happened.
I said, I want you to do what you want to do, because everybody was always telling him what to sing and what to
I mean, were
play.
you like doing the record producer thing, and
I had
like,
sunglasses on.
sunglasses on, like
Really?
put that
Really?
mic over here, that
Put the mic here. I want some ambient sound. I want it to sound like it's in a
I
space.
love it.
I put because he loves singing to women. I put my two girl friends from high school, two friends from school.
See? That's producing.
Sitting at his feet so that he could sing to them.
Oh,
He didn't want to sing to
man.
me. He wanted to sing to them.
That's
It's a great
fascinating
record.
story.
It's him doing what he loves. It's
And-
called.
and it's called-
check it out on all the streaming services.
What's it called?
I've never seen a straight banana.
Oh,
How many
no.
times must I tell you?
Oh no, that's the title of the. I thought it was just the
It's
title of the
album.
song.
So it's called Rare Moments Volume 1. I've never seen a straight banana. That's the full title.
So is that Deanna? Is that here? Do we have vinyl of that?
There is vinyl
Jet?
of it. There's vinyl and CD.
No?
It's on. It came out on Collector's Choice Records.
We need that. We need
on
that,
Collector's
for the
Choice,
next
yeah.
show. We need. I've never seen a straight banana. Just as a sidebar, I know we're probably gonna not get many songs done tonight, but Richard pointed out to me that the record on the wall back there, they just re-released Buckingham Nicks
Yep.
solo record.
Yeah.
His #2 album in the nation.
Yeah, it's the #2 record this week on Billboard. Yeah.
Oh, that is so great. Anyway,
Nice,
that's.
I know, they're nice. It's nice.
But that's
songs.
really great news. So anyway, then that's fascinating right there. That's a
Okay.
career right there. But so what?
That
what-
was really fun, and so the next band that I met coming through town were the Monkees. It was Davey and Mickey.
So you were meeting the stars.
Yeah, so Davey and Mickey, but the most important, I love them. They were great, and Davey was awesome.
How
But
did
they-
you meet them? Did you go through the radio
I
station?
went there and I said hello. No,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
I just
You could-
they were playing a disco.
Wow, I
This
guess
was the 70s.
I guess the 70s they would have been playing a disco.
They were
Wait,
playing a
but
disco.
was it
And-
the whole band?
It was called Big Daddy's Disco.
But it was the whole band.
No, it was just Davey and Mickey, and the backing band, which is the important part of the story, were a band playing at CBGB's called the Laughing Dogs. Oh. Right? So they
Are
were
they
the backing
known?
band. Now, no one except for my friend Gene and I knew who the Laughing Dogs were, but we had the Live at CBGB album, right? So we went backstage after the show and said, "We know you guys. You're the Laughing Dogs." So they didn't really mention that on stage. They were backing up the
I
Monkees.
bet they didn't mention it.
And they said, "You know us?" Well, yes. We started talking. They were super friendly. And it was during that conversation, they said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" It was summer, and we just said, "Nothing. Why don't you come to Miami with us?" We ended up on tour with them.
Oh,
Now,
what the fuck?
it was during
Really?
that tour that
sorry for cursing.
we said that we wanted to go to New York, and they said, "Why don't you stay in our loft in Brooklyn, because we are going to be on tour with the Monkees." So that's how I came up here.
That's you stayed at whose loft was it?
The Laughing Dogs.
The Laughing Dogs. So
in Brooklyn on
and you,
J Street.
and it was the band loft. I mean, it
The
was like-
band
yeah,
loft,
yeah.
which was amazing. It was a soundproof recording
On
studio.
what street?
J Street.
On J Street. That's really a story, man.
So then,
So they brought you to the city.
I'm in the city, and I got a gig. My first gig was I was on a soap opera called As the World Turns, because Gene, my friend who I moved up here with.
You're an actor.
Well, if you could call it that.
No, but you were on the soap opera.
Yeah,
You were
I
acting.
wanted to be an actor, and I was on the soap opera for a minute.
Was your name like Clay or
It was like
Blake
Eric.
or Mason
It
or
was
something?
Eric.
Eric.
But,
Okay.
you know, which is close to Richard. It's the same base name as Richard.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, okay, I'm comfortable with that. But
Wow, that's.
The-
I mean, so do you? How many careers have you had?
no, so then, I answered. Then I was reading the Village Voice, and I saw an ad that it was actually placed by Glenn Morrow. Do you know who Glenn Morrow is?
Yes,
Okay.
he's going to be on next week's show with his
Okay.
band.
It was an ad placed by Glenn Morrow, you know, seeking guitarist into television, Talking Heads, Velvet Underground, Eno, or something like that.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'll answer that. I mean, okay. I answered it. They came over, Rob Norris and Glenn Morrow and a friend, Jim Van Tyne, came over and came to the soundproof loft of the Laughing Dogs, in which I started jamming on my Rickenbacker.
Oh man.
And the next thing you know, we had a band starting.
Oh, so they hired you.
Yeah.
So that was you were only 20 then, right? Or so.
I was about 20.
20. So that was the end. That was the band A.
That was the band A with Glenn Morrow and Frank Giannini on drums
Frank.
and Rob Norris on bass.
Rob Norris on bass. One of the pioneering Hoboken bands. Maybe the first one.
I think so.
Like the letter A.
Except for the Insect Trust
Insect Trust. Yeah, with the
with Nancy
With
Jeffries,
Nancy Jeff-
who signed us to RCA. I mean, it's a
signed me to
very
Elektra.
tangled web that we weave for you.
It is. No, the Insect Trust. No, Nancy was fantastic.
I
She's
love
now.
Nancy. She's with Paul McCartney Productions.
I think is she that what she does?
Uh-huh.
She
I
was
think so,
doing
still.
Ziggy Marley and
She's worked with a lot of people. She's great.
so that happened. Okay.
That happened.
So A happened, and that
A happened, and
weren't
A
you
was
like the
very
first
good.
first band at Maxwell's?
Yes, we were the first band at
Yeah,
Maxwell's
that's
because Maxwell's
heavy.
was not. Maxwell's was just opening. The Fallon family had just purchased it, Steve, and Glenn and I think Glenn says just Glenn, but I think Glenn and I went over there to talk to Steve, and said, you can ask him next week about this, and said, you know, can we play here? Basically, it was a restaurant, and Steve said yes. So we actually set up in the middle of where the restaurant, the tables were. There was not a stage. The back room was a storage room at the time. The back room was where they kept the. Do we still have audio?
You still have it?
Hello. Okay.
No, it was. I didn't want it to feedback,
Okay.
but you are being heard.
Frida, you were very
Are
professional.
you guys hearing it out there? Yeah. It sounds great.
Good. Just to make sure.
In the
So-
cans, it sounds like you sound, just like an actor.
And that's all that really matters. But so the back room was their storage room. It's only when the bongos formed out of A. A lasted for a while. We played shows at Maxwell's and other places, and we had a great time at Maxwell's because the fire department came. I mean, we had loud music in a restaurant
The fire
with
department.
glass windows on Washington Street. So it caused a bit of a
Were you
stir.
playing in the front?
Yeah.
Oh, it was in the front
Right
of
in the
Maxwell's.
front. People could look in the
Oh,
windows
okay,
like this.
yeah.
They could say, "Hey, you were right there," and the whole town seemed that they were at the window looking in, including the fire department, because it was overcrowded.
Sure.
Yeah. So they kind of warned Steve, like, you can't have people, like, it's too crowded, blah, blah, so, but we did it, I think, a few times up front. And other bands played up there too, including the Flesh Tones, because we invited,
Yeah.
we started to do shows in other places. We'd meet bands, as we do, and we'd say, you should play in Hoboken. So
Wow.
things started happening fast.
Yeah,
The
you-
club became very popular.
Yeah,
quickly.
really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys were. I had always kind of understood that you guys were the spark for the Hoboken scene, but
We with the Fallons, with Steve.
with Steve
and
too.
us, it was a spark, yeah.
Steve, exactly. But I mean,
Yeah.
still in a way, the best gig. I don't know. Somehow, just through the best gig I ever did was the last one at Maxwell's, where I did 4 songs. It was just so intense with the band. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I love the photos of Steve. I believe it's the one where he'd be in a bathtub full
Full
of
of
cassettes.
all the demos of people, bands that wanted to play
So
there or wanted to be
hilarious.
signed by Coyote Records. et
So
cetera.
many bands got helped out by him.
But the tin ceiling, the shape of the room,
Yeah.
it had a sound, it had a vibe,
Yeah.
and it was a great space.
I saw the Pixies on their first tour. That was crazy.
I saw everybody there. I saw
Yeah.
the Chili Peppers wearing nothing but socks in a provocative place.
Well, that's shocking. So the bongos happened, and I of course knew before I knew you. I knew your
So the
band.
bongos came out of the group because, just band things. And we somehow the trio of Rob and Frank and I just gelled as a unit in a different way. Glenn's songs were more intricate, and my songs were simpler. And I think that was the basis of that division that happened. And it was all friendly, certainly, you know, but it was something that just happened. And when the bongos started, we asked Steve, can we practice in the back room? That's how the back room became
that's
less
funny.
cans of tomato soup and more amplifiers and drums. You know.
That was the storage area.
Yeah, that was storage. And the storage got moved to the basement, and that became our practice space. And then we were like, well, can we invite some people to hang out at our practice? And
So you guys made the back room at Maxwell's
Yeah.
too.
yeah, but just that way. It wasn't like an intentional.
I expected to hear about that you were a secretary in a presidential administration
No.
at one point.
But I did get a letter from JFK's secretary.
That's pretty damn good.
Okay. But anyway, no. But the thing is, these things. What I tell my students at the new school too, is sometimes you have to create your own scene, because if one doesn't exist for you, if you're a young musician or in a young band, if the scene is not there for you, you have to make your own. And we in Hoboken, there really wasn't a live music network yet. So we had to make it, and we did it because we had support from Steve Fallon, his family, and the venue. We were able to have a place to play and practice, and that became our hub, you know.
That's such a
But
great
we had
story.
to do it. We had no
Oh,
choice.
you
That's
okay?
right. Yeah, happens all the time.
Well, let's play a bongo song.
Okay.
We have to play some music tonight.
Okay, well, let's play some music. And you know, the thing about the bongos is we were listening to a lot of music. Between Rob and I in our living room, we lived together. Rob Norris and I lived in what was Glenn Morrow's apartment. We took it over.
Wow, yeah, it's rough.
I know.
It's rough.
Well, he didn't want it anymore, so we said, well, we took it over. So we had a great apartment on Hudson Street, and between us had, I would estimate, 4,000 vinyl albums.
Wow.
I brought 2,000 up from Florida, and Rob Norris had 2,000
It's a
of his
lot of
own.
weight.
It was we call them the Twin Towers, because we had towers of albums in the living room. But we had a lot of similar albums.
So it had to
And
be-
that I'm saying this for a reason. The bongos music really came out of what we loved, the history of rock and roll, not just what was happening at that moment in 1980 or so, but what was all the years before that. Like we were listening to the Seeds, and we were listening to a lot of garage, like the Nuggets type from the Nuggets
yeah.
out, that kind of stuff.
Lenny Kaye.
And we wanted to do that. We wanted to find a way to kind of, I don't want to say update it, but we wanted to make like a fresh take on garage rock.
So that
You get it?
that's where you're coming from. Yeah, no,
That's where we're
you're coming
coming
from the the
We also
scene.
like the Feelies. That's another thing. That's another part of the story. A cable reaches up to heaven, unleavened bread comes down from heaven. You know I'm right, I tell you, you know I'm right, baby. Oh, Sally, let's look for baby Moses. Oh, Sally, can you guess what this is, Sally? You know I'm right, I tell you, I will tell you. You know I'm right. Well, I don't know. You know I'm right, I tell you, I will tell you. You know I'm right, baby. You're pushing too hard. You're pushing too hard on me. Too hard. You're pushing too hard. You're pushing too hard on me. too well. He doesn't have a lot to say. Well, this boy lives right next door. He's got nothing to say. Oh, Sally, can you please come out now, Sally? Oh, mother, can you guess what we are? Can you guess what we are? Oh, you're not right. I tell you, I will tell you, you're not right. Well, I don't know why you're not right. I tell you, I will tell you.
Oh, that was awesome. The awesome Richard Barone. It's hilarious, of course, as always, to see one's videos, but in that one, it's like you guys are like little kids, but that's how we all look, I guess, back then. That song, that was just a song I heard on KJHK all the time. And I probably learned. I was learning guitar then. That you helped me learn guitar.
Good.
Because that was like that and another song like that. The Patti Smith song. Patti Smith's song, "Dancing Barefoot."
Oh, yeah,
But then it
Then it became other things.
but then it was too complicated. I needed like two chord songs. Anyway, that was fantastic, man.
Thank you.
So that was a bongo song from '80.
So we got signed to a British label called Fetish Records. Pretty quickly. I mean, we were only together maybe 3 months when we got an offer to sign with them. I think something like that, a short time. And we signed at Maxwell's, of course. Everything happened at Maxwell's for us. A young 21-year-old record label owner who just got money. I was telling my students today, they don't believe me. They don't believe any of this, by the way. That, he had just won money in a horse race. His name was Rod Pierce. He wanted to start a record label. He had just won some money, so he started a label. He signed. All the other groups were quite experimental and industrial type bands on Fetish Records, including Throbbing Gristle.
Throbbing Gristle.
But he signed the bongos.
I saw them.
They were great. They were friends.
You were on the
became
same
friends.
label with Throbbing Gristle.
Yes, they became good friends of ours, and they met us at the airport, which really was great getting through customs with Throbbing Gristle.
Sure.
We got a lot of
You are
suspicious
you
looks.
called the Throbbing Gristle. What?
But anyway, so that record was played by radio stations, including in New York, WNEW and K-Rock. And
Wow.
we were surprised because
Yeah.
it was on a very small indie label.
I bet you were on NEW. Vince Kelso.
We were.
Right? Yeah,
Vince
so that was a
Kelso,
hit. It was a hit.
played it,
Played
yeah.
on New York radio.
And
it's like a national
it
hit.
was great because, of course, that gave us a big start.
It was fantastic. That song is just great.
Thank you.
It's a fantastic song.
Thank you.
So you write that when you were 10? You wrote that when you were 10 or something?
Well, I will say that I was very inspired by being in Rob Norris was always at his girlfriend's house, so I shared the apartment, but he had a special, very mystical room, and he had a Kabbalic, I guess you'd say, tree of life in his bedroom, and a lot of the Old Testament references on the first Bongos album come from the Jewish mysticism that was in Rob's bedroom.
All right.
Because I'd go in there and play. For some reason, that was my go-to place to play guitar. And so, Baby Moses and all these references come out of we had a song called Burning Bush on our first album. I mean, this is serious stuff.
Well, that's really interesting.
And
that
it's
that's where
because
that came from.
that's where it came from. Yeah.
That's something you would never know unless you were here on Tuesday Night Live.
That's
saying
right.
it.
With Tuesday, listen, this is why we're here on Tuesday Night Live with Freddie Johnson.
It's changing culture every week.
Yeah.
So you've got it. We've mentioned it a couple times. You've mentioned it a couple times. Teaching at the new school. That's
do.
another thing.
I
So
really
you-
love teaching. I didn't.
You
know I
have
was-
written a textbook.
It's my second book. My first book was called Frontman. That was also used as a textbook at NYU. And that's when I started teaching because they asked me to teach a class based on the book, which was impossible because it's a memoir about being in the bongos, which you really can't you can't really tell students how to do that,
Yeah.
But I wrote a class called Stage Presence based on Frontman. about being the front man of a band.
You wrote a play.
For me, it was
Okay.
You see, when I answered that ad that said looking for guitarists, that's the key word.
Yeah.
Looking for a guitarist into television, Talking Heads, and Eno, I had this fantasy of just being a guitar player and just letting somebody sing. Honestly, I was not. That's why I was happy when Glenn Morrow was the front man of A, because I could I could work on my guitar chops, you know. But then when it became the bongos, then I was the front man, and there was it caused psychological turmoil
In yourself?
in my own head.
Yeah.
And that's what the book is about.
So
and
you
the
didn't
NYU liked it, and they said, "Can you teach this?" I'm going, "No, I don't think I can teach that." I said, "Well, what could you do?" And I said, "Well, we could do a stage presence class." I said, "Okay, we'll do that." So that was a very cool class. I loved it. I did it for 3 years at NYU. But then I wanted to write a course about Greenwich Village in the 1960s, because I love it, because I love protest music. I love that people could raise their voices with their messages and have it be a great song, and to get on the radio and be something important. And I think that was such a great era for that, all through the entire decade of the 60s, right? So I wrote a course called Music and Revolution. And I brought it to NYU, and they said, "Oh, this is great. Maybe in 4 or 5 years we can do this." I'm thinking, I'd rather do it now, you know. The new school wanted it immediately. And considering I live a block and a half away from the new school, it was very convenient for me to teach it there, and I love it. I've been doing it for 8. This is the 8th semester I've taught there.
8th semester. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, man.
I love it. My students are great.
I gotta get your book.
Please do.
It's amazing.
Music and Revolution available on Amazon
Music and
and wherever
Revolution.
fine books are sold.
It is really a salient book right now.
You know, it was a magical time. You know, Hoboken, the music scene of Hoboken. You know, it's like that was sort of like had the fire
Yeah.
that was happening here was like the fire that happened in Greenwich Village, just in a little different way. It wasn't about protest songs, but it was, you know, a lot of bands came here. Maxwell's was a hub for music for quite a while.
Yeah, the Velvet Underground started a lot of bands.
The Velvet Underground,
You
that's
know,
what today we're just discussing the Velvets, and yes, they were alternative rock 101.
Yeah, it worked. It was great.
Yeah.
It's there were so many bands.
Yeah.
I just played with the Smithereens on Friday. You know, they were about the same time, right? Or just, you know, New Jersey.
Hey. The Smithereens are a great band. Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. You know, Pat Denizio was a really wonderful human.
Yeah. I really like
which
those
is-
guys a lot.
yeah.
And we were good friends with them, still are, with the guys in the band now.
Well, yeah, they're just the greatest guys. I wrote a song about them, actually. I've never written a song about
Really?
a band, but I wrote a song about the Smithereens. You know?
That's great.
Have you ever played this song?
I played it at the show the first time, Friday.
Can you play
I-
it tonight?
Well,
wanna hear
no,
it?
it was Richard's show.
Well, you can play a song
One song.
if you like.
Well, let's do Odd Girl Out.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a story for that?
Well, yes, of course. You know, Jill Sobule was a dear friend of mine who recently passed away. You know, and you know the story with Jill. You know what happened?
Yes, she's a co-writer on this song.
Yeah, but you know that she passed away in a fire, right?
Oh, I know this horrible
It's a horrible story.
She
Jill and I met in 1990. We started writing songs. We wrote songs for over 30 years together.
did you really?
Yeah.
I played just a few gigs with her, and she was so unbelievable.
She's a very unique artist. She was a very unique
by
artist.
far one of the greatest guitar players I've ever
She
seen.
played great.
You
She's
know,
played on my album Clouds Over Eden. I didn't know she was such a great player. We had written a song that, so we're both signed to MCA Records. We were the only, at the time, the only non-hip hop artists that we knew of that were signed to the label. So we bonded on being the only non-hip hop artists. Even though we liked hip hop fine, you know, whatever. It was just that we were the singer-songwriters, right? So she was playing, she was not living in New York, I don't think at the time, but she was performing at the Bitter End. I went to go see her. And after the show, I said, you know, we're on the same label. We should get together sometime. She goes, do you want to write a song? And I said, yeah, I'd like to. The next day at noon, she was at my house. I'm serious. And we started writing songs. And we didn't really stop for years. So we were able to get songs on a lot of major
Wow, you
television
must
shows.
have a lot of songs.
We
There must
have-
be a record to be
There's
released
enough for an album,
Yeah.
too, yeah.
of your songs.
Yeah.
You're together.
There's a songbook, yeah.
That would be an amazing record.
There's
Sure.
good stuff. So 5 of them got on our albums, and then there's a lot that we never really put out, you know. But we did this song. We both recorded. It's on my album Glow that came out on Glenn's Bar
Is
None
that your
label.
most recent record?
No,
No.
No. My most recent record is a duet with Daryl DMC McDaniels from Run DMC.
Oh, wow.
And that's called All Fall Down. That's a political...
Oh, that's the song?
That's a politically charged song, yes.
Oh, it's just one song or it's an album?
It's just it's an EP. It's the first song this was something that we thought about. It's the same song in 4 different genres on the EP. So it's a country, alternative country version, a folk version, a rock version, and a hip hop version that was mixed by Public Enemy.
That's
by
awesome.
Johnny Joseph, Public
That's
Enemy. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so
But
that was
not a disco version.
and there's no disco version yet,
Yeah.
but there's still time. But with Jill, we wrote a lot of songs, and this was a song. You know, Jill was we were always talking about LGBTQ plus topics. Just each of us in growing up in our own way. I think we each identified as bisexual, but you know, it's a topic about what's hidden and like the secrecy in that in the previous decades.
Oh, very much.
Okay, we talked about it all the time, and she told me about these book titles. She said, you know, these 2 books, they're so awesome, Odd Girl Out and Twilight Lovers, and those titles were on my brain all the time. And she was always mentioning those 2 books. They're famous lesbian novels from the, I believe, early '60s. And one day I was in my attorney's office had a meeting, and I met a woman who started talking to me, and she goes, "Oh, do you live in Greenwich Village?" And I said, "Yes." And she told me about when she was a young girl, and she would come to Greenwich Village and go to a bar, but the police would raid it and close it down all the time. And she goes, "Oh, honey, it's so easy for you guys now because you can just do whatever you want. And when I was a girl, you know, the police were like going to close us down, and we're going to get in trouble and be, you know, put in a paddy wagon." All that. And it became, because it was something that I carried with me all day. Later that day, Jill called me. She goes, "I'm going to come over to write a..." She would just say, "Dick," she called me Dick all the time. "Dick, I'm coming over." I said, "Okay." So she came, and she's going to my house and lie on the couch as if I'm her therapist. That was a Jill thing. And she's flat on the couch with a guitar, and I start telling her about this woman that I met. Her name was Ellen. And I said, you know, she was telling me how hard it was, blah, blah, blah. And Jill starts strumming a G chord, you know. Am I still in tune enough?
Yes, you are.
So it's like, Helen was an odd girl out. Helen was an odd girl out. No sign above the door where she would meet her paramour. Helen was an odd girl out. Back in 1962, it wasn't like it is for me and you. She couldn't tell them where she'd go, where Val would wear a tuxedo. Helen was an odd girl out. Odd girl out. Oh, Helen was an odd girl out. Odd girl out. Twilight lovers and odd girls out. One night when the sirens came, she couldn't help but feel the shame. If her parents got a call, it would end it all. They would send her away to her uncle out in Omaha, where there wasn't any scene at all, where the boys would race their trucks and the girls would wave and lust. Helen was an odd girl out. Hey! Odd girl out. Helen was an odd girl out. Odd girl out. Twilight lovers and odd girls out. Helen walks into the room where the girls look happy as they're playing pool. There's nothing that they have to hide. Times have changed, left her behind. Now Helen is an odd girl out. Odd girl out. Helen is an odd girl out. Odd girl out. Twilight lovers and odd girls out. Odd girl out. Helen was an odd girl. Helen was an odd girl. Odd girl. Twilight lovers and odd girls out.
Great chorus on that song. Great song.
Jill is so funny because we
And a
toured
great video, too.
We toured a lot together, and she had a hit with a song called "I Kissed a Girl," but again, she didn't identify one way or another in any way. So when we toured, she would make me sing "I Kissed a Girl," which was just like defeated so much of the purpose.
That's pretty funny.
You know, she wouldn't tell me, so we were on stage, and she goes, "You have to sing it." I was like, "I can't." It's a completely an all-woman audience.
Funny
They do
as
not
hell.
want to see
that's
me sing
funny
"I
as
Kissed
hell,
a
you
Girl,"
Hadn't thought about that, yeah.
but I did it.
I bet they loved it, actually. I
The
bet they
things she made me do. She would make me take my shirt off and dance around the stage with playing a tambourine to, I think, all the young dudes. But when she had a disco song, I think we did Always Survive that way. We had quite a show. It was like a Sonny and Cher show. So I was Sonny, which means I always had to be put down.
Right.
But I loved it. And we had a great time. So a lot of our songs, I mentioned that we were on TV shows. We did songs that were used on Dawson's Creek and on Felicity. A lot of those teen
Wow.
shows. Yeah.
As a duet?
Jill sang them, but it was songs we had
Yeah?
put together.
She had so many records, right?
Yeah, she had several
was
albums, yeah.
hard-working, one of those people who just, I'm amazed.
She toured a lot. We miss Jill. She was a very special
Yes,
talent.
Jill Sobule was.
She's a very unique talent, and she could write a song on the spot. She
She
would
kind
pick
of-
someone out and say, "What's your name?" Usually a woman. She'd say, "What's your name, honey?" You know, and then that person would get an entire song written about them live. We'd have to write. I would be with her, like trying to write, come up with a bridge, you know. But she would do a lot of improvisation. That's one thing, you know, I've learned from all the musicians I've worked with. From Jill, I learned how to just be spontaneous as much as possible.
Really
'Cause
creative,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I'm very structured. I want a script. I want to see my script. I want my charts.
Yeah.
But with Jill, it was like you're gonna sing "I Kissed a Girl." We're gonna make a song about her or here. It's okay, you know. And I learned how to just roll with it.
It can be done, I guess. People have really fat.
We did great. Their shows were great. We had a good time.
Yes, you know, I have to mention that the last time I played with her, it's a long time ago. It was July of 2001 at the World Trade Center Plaza.
Oh, that was nice. I bet. Yeah.
But those summer gigs,
Yeah, they
you
did
know,
great shows there.
And I just remember, like, you know, that was.
And she had the
I
little
wish I'd
guitar.
seen her. More, you know, that was 25 years I hadn't seen her.
Yeah.
But
Well, she kept playing, and she had her play, "Fuck Seventh Grade," I believe. is the
right,
title.
and that was
Yeah.
really successful, right?
Yes.
That's
We'll be doing a birthday show for Jill in New York on her birthday, January 16th. There's a show in Philadelphia. I know James Mastro, who's in the audience, and thank you for letting me use
James
your amp.
Mastro.
For
Photographer
the
James
bar.
Mastro.
And that's in Philadelphia. Is sometime in January, I believe. Yeah. I think I'm on that bill too. By the way, now I got an email, but they're trying to keep her. A lot of her team is really trying to keep her music alive, and I'm absolutely in support of that because it's important stuff. And she was able to speak her mind in many different ways. What are you drinking? No thanks, but interesting.
Oh my goodness! You know, I will take a small cup of that if you have it, my friend. Why not? No, but I didn't.
It looks good.
I'm
That's
ready
right.
now. I'm ready.
I'm ready now.
But anyway, I'm glad we were able to do one of her songs just now.
Yeah, that really is a great song.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, it comes from a real thing. I mean, it comes from a real person at a real moment, and that's what a lot of Jill's songs came from, which is great. I love the way our guitars look on the screen there.
It's a good look tonight. Your guitar, I must say, even though they look similar, yours is the John Lennon model,
It is.
and
It is.
it's a very beautiful specimen of it.
J160E.
And I didn't realize some of you, you guitar guys out there, guitar folk out there. I
Guys
didn't-
is non-gender.
Okay, all right, dudes.
Okay.
No, I heard a mom yelling at her kids yesterday on the street, like girls and boys. Dudes,
Really?
in the yeah,
Yeah.
dudes in the
Dudes
car,
is
in the
overused.
car. But yours is is the John Lennon model,
It
and
is.
I didn't realize that it's made to not. The top is made to not vibrate. Like it has extra bracing, so it won't feed back.
Right.
So
They brace every
I
inch or
did
so.
not know this, and so that's it's not going to have much of an acoustic sound. But
No,
that
so it has
but,
to be electric.
but
It goes through an amp. It's going
it's
through a box amp. Right.
something I did not know, and I don't think everybody knew. Just like that, you can't freeze helium or something. That's amazing.
You can't freeze vodka either.
Yeah, which is great because that means it's never frozen.
That's right.
You don't have to wait for it to thaw. So anyway, what's
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bongos have a live. Not that I'm going to do anything from it right this second, but the Bongos have a live album out this year. Do you know about that?
there's a live
The
bongos
Shroud-
record out.
The Shroud of Touring.
The Shroud of
Live
Turin.
in
What a
1985.
title! Who made
That
who-
was Rob Norris title as
That is
Drums
so
Along the Hudson.
goddamn
He's
funny.
very punny.
The Shroud of Turing. How's no one ever thought of that before?
We've had that title ready to go since 1985.
Well, it should have been
Really?
your first album.
That was the title of that album then, and it was for RCA, but it never came out.
Wow.
And in 2020, we re-signed with RCA Records, which is cool, very good actually, because we're able to put out stuff that we had recorded during that time that didn't come out. So if you look, if you go to streaming, I'm in a record store, so I don't want to say streaming services, but if you do go to streaming services, if you happen to stumble upon one by mistake, you may find that the Bongos albums, like Numbers with Wings and Beat Hotel, now have about 30 songs on them.
That's great.
Because we're able to give them demos and alternate versions, all the different things that we had done, because the Bongos were always recording or writing something.
Wow.
So now we're able to put them out, because it was kind of like in limbo because it was for the RCA, but we weren't really actively working with RCA. Well, now we are.
Do you have so you have access to the masters?
We have access to masters, and they did a great job on having the live album mastered at Sony, because Sony owns RCA now.
Sure.
And is a great.
Sony
I think
owns
it's a great
everything.
live album. It's really raw and excellent. It was recorded live
Wow.
at the Jersey Shore at the.
Oh,
called
it's a
Trade
it's a
Winds.
one gig.
It was
live
one
album.
gig,
Yeah.
and it's actually real. It's not like
Where,
we went in,
at the
we didn't
Stone
redo
Pony?
anything. Most live albums, by the way. I mean, most people, Thin Lizzy live, etc. These records are not live albums.
Well, no,
the band goes in and redoes it, and they use this audience. But this was
Yeah.
really a live album, so you can really hear everything.
Was it the Stone Pony?
I love it. What?
Was the Stone Pony?
The Trade Winds, no longer there.
The
It was
Trade Winds.
The
Wow.
Trade Winds in Seabright, New Jersey.
Well, Rick Nielsen said about live at Budokan. He said, "Well, the kick drum's live."
Right.
Is
I
that
mean-
live up coming out on vinyl?
Well, I don't know. Right now it's on CD. It's on CD on Gem Records, and it's on streaming on RCA Records. But I think we have copies here. Do you have the Shroud of Turin on CD? Okay, you have Drums Along the Hudson and Phantom Train. But
Drums
I think-
Along the Hudson, so classic, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having those. But the new one is really good. It's
So
on
what-
Gem. I should
okay.
have made sure you had it, but I was hoping you would. But well,
I'm sure he'll
live in
get
hope.
some.
What?
I'm sure he'll get some.
Yeah, you'll like
I-
it. You'll like it. But it was a very cool evening. It was our one night off on a 300 show tour,
So it's just
and we decided to record a live album. What?
no. It's just that's great that you got a good album out of it because usually the live album is from 10 or 15 shows, And,
No, it was one show, and we had a truck outside. It was really cool.
You had a real that's
Yeah, we had a
fantastic.
truck. Yeah.
I love that.
24-track analog.
I love that, man. That vibe is always.
Sounds good.
I was very
Thank
lucky.
you, yeah, it's the real deal.
I was very lucky to go into one of the surviving record plant trucks out in L.A.
Yeah.
and they were working on this tribute to the Rusty Young, from
Oh, yeah.
Poco, and it was just like the '70s, man. There's still like shag carpet on the wall and stuff, and
Really?
as like you could see, like just it was just the API board, and so the guy had a computer from 15 or 20 years ago. It was the oldest Mac. It's like I didn't go past 8.5. I've never put any other apps on it. It never crashes. It was his backup,
I guess if it works, because you know how it is if you sometimes if you get a new computer, none of your software works on it. So
It's the evil that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many levels of it. But let's play a song.
you want to do a song?
Yeah, I think we should.
You want to do a bit of "I'll Fall Down"? Or
Yeah, I think that if we're talking about evil, yeah, this is your new song.
well, it's a new song. You know, I started writing this song as I was watching the Capitol in Washington on January 6th.
Yeah, nice day.
2021.
Yeah.
And I could not believe it. Again, with the, my guitar, I just, like with, when we're talking about Odd Girl Out, I just started strumming.
Yeah.
And it's that, it's this,
Yeah, it's
I'm
very-
playing
it's-
it like this, I don't know how you're playing, but
That's how I'm doing. It's a very dark thing. Right. All right. After 3 times.
greedy leaders with your dirty minds, you're done wasting my precious time. All through history, crime after crime, they all fall down. All fall down. All for power, they kill what's dear. Win through anger, rage and fear, spurting hatred. People cheer, but they all fall down. All fall down. Truth is twisted, roles are played, bets are taken, profits made, but fortune changes, cheering fades, and they all fall down. All fall down. Freedom, freedom, but who is free? Fools who follow lies they believe. The truth will rise eventually when they all fall down. All fall down. All fall down. All fall down. 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 They all fall down.
Yeah, man.
I do believe
That was
that.
a very powerful groove.
I believe that,
That's a very powerful groove. Yeah. The well, we know
And I
that.
like the way I like the way you played that with me. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
yeah.
Well, we know that some of the leaders fall down because they're wearing elevator shoes and
Yeah, they can't keep their.
their hands are too small to grip the rails.
How are we doing for time? Are we like? Have we,
I don't know. I haven't know. It's been a fascinating show. No, we've got time. We can go for however long we want. You guys don't mind?
having a good
well,
time
well,
out
actually,
there?
Chip it. Yeah. We're good. Okay. I guess we're good. So what else can we talk about?
Well,
What's your first song that you've already played your first song?
The Bulrushes was a very early song. You know when the bongos actually. Someone an alarm? Is there? Okay. When the bongos started, we didn't really have a lot of songs. We were doing when we first did our first gigs, we did a lot of covers. We we're trying to figure out what to play. We got gigs because we get on the phone and just get Rob Norris and I were a team about we got gigs.
Yeah.
We got on the phone. I don't know how. We played like a lot of places, but then we realized, well, what are we gonna play? Because we didn't have songs. I had like 2 songs, 3. I had a handful of songs. So we started covering the songs the Beatles covered.
Wow. Interesting.
So we would do Boys. We did quite a few songs we said, well, if they covered it, those are good songs to cover. So
I've
we
never
did like
heard
a
of
Little Richard,
that
we did
before.
Lucille. We did like Beatles songs. The Beatles that we had like bootlegs with the Beatles at the Cavern Club when they did a lot of covers, and we did early rock and roll songs. So we played that a lot.
And you did. All I gotta do is act naturally.
We didn't do that, but we could have. That would have been good for Frank to sing, actually. But the thing is, we did give Frank Ringo songs to sing.
Oh, that's funny.
Right.
Of course
So
you did.
anyway, all right. So anyway, we're very silly. Anyway, but the point is this. But then we got a record deal and we had to have songs. So I started trying to write like crazy. The Bulrushes. Again, I'm looking at the Kabbalah Tree of Life, and that song is like, okay, that's a song. Everywhere I looked, I was finding songs. Like I wrote "Glow in the Dark." Flashlights when ready, that's what she said. That's because flashlights when ready. I was at a drive-in restaurant in Tampa, Florida, visiting my mom, and it said flashlights when ready. You flash your lights of your car, and then the
flashlights
waitress
when
would come to
ready.
your car.
Oh, but it sounds great on its own.
So it's like,
yeah.
I needed a song. What can I
Flashlights when ready.
say?
That's a great thing. Yeah. So you.
And then the Glow in the Dark, we had a little comic book that we got from this group called Science Holiday that made like bizarre comics way ahead of their time. And it was called Glow in the Dark, so that became the chorus. We're gonna glow in the dark. It's just everything was writing itself to me at that time.
At that age, isn't there a time when you're just not?
It was magic.
you're
I wasn't
not-
thinking
you're
about
not-
it.
You're not. You're not.
Minimalist.
You're not
Minimalism.
broken and shattered. No, but you're really no, but you really feel like every idea has an equal weight, and you just let it out.
I
right?
was happy to find things and let them be in the songs, and also
great.
happy to pick up a guitar and play it and see what happens. So that's how Drums Along the Hudson. Those songs all came at basically the same time.
Yeah. Well, so it would be funny.
Telephoto Lens was my telephoto lens. Telephoto Lens. Alone in a city, I'm making distant friends. Tonight. Early Morning Ghost. Won't let my phone ring. That's because it's also a
just
long story.
awesome. It's
It was
just
a Glenn
awesome
Morrow
music.
story. Oh my God. I couldn't get a phone call because Glenn was always on the phone with his girlfriend. So I had.
Very
It's like
funny.
Early Morning Ghost is Glenn Morrow. Tell him next week
Early
when he comes on the show.
Morning Ghost,
Because
that's
the Early Morning Ghost
funny.
won't let my phone ring because he was on the phone all the time. We had one
Oh,
phone. in
he was
those days,
romantic.
you know?
He was talking to his girlfriend.
She would live next door. I mean, couldn't
Oh,
he just go?
God.
Couldn't he just go?
So it was actually costing them money to talk.
I said, please. I was like, so I couldn't get any dates because he was always on the phone. Nobody could call me.
Because there was just a phone. There was the phone. That is
So,
really
yeah,
good story.
Complications keep you away from me. That's what the chorus. It's all there.
Awesome.
Anyway, it's my whole life is on Drums Along the Hudson, basically. My whole 21-year-old period is on that album.
It's fantastic, man.
I'm just saying.
It is aged completely. It sounds like it could have been released today. It's a really good record.
It was recorded well. We went to England. Because of that British label, we were able to record at a beautiful studio called Jacobs. It was owned by John Fox of the group Ultravox.
Ultravox.
And it was on a sheep farm. Of
course it
Jacobs
was. Of
Studios.
course it was.
Jacobs is a type of sheep. We learned
Of
because they were looking in
course
the
it
window.
was.
The sheep were as we played,
I do not like mutton.
and it was a barn, and in the hayloft we put Frank's drums. It was really great.
Yeah.
It was just, and we made the album. We play live, and then I did the vocals pretty much in 1 or 2 nights. All the vocals.
Oh, that's great.
It was quick and it was fun, and then we were back on the road. We toured Europe. We were just on tour, so we did a few days in the studio and then went on the road. It was really fun.
And then you went right on the road and
Yeah.
stayed on the road, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
We toured a lot.
it is amazing. It's amazing to encounter bands like the Smithereens, who've kind of
They're still doing it. Yeah.
never been off the road.
I know.
I don't think they really took breaks, except when I guess after Pat died a little bit,
A little bit.
but not
really,
not
really.
much.
Yeah.
And it's their. I mean, they talk about it on stage. It's clearly like it's their pride and joy. It's like we've been doing this for 40 years
They're
and we've
close-
been doing it great, and here
close
we
friends,
are,
yeah.
people. And we started just in the garage. I love them.
They're
Those
very
guys,
good band.
man.
They were a big influence on Nirvana. Did you know that?
I bet they were.
They were.
Because his style of having a chorus and then another chorus.
I've always wondered
kind of
about
like, you know,
the lineage from bull rushes to the Smithereens, behind the wall of sleep,
Oh, yeah.
straight to About a Girl.
I think that the Smithereens were influenced by the bongos. Of
Yeah.
course they were. Yeah, it had to be. That's a
We
really
were-
good point.
We invite. I think I was telling you earlier that we invited them to open for us at the Bottom Line on one of our first big New York shows. Was at the Bottom Line, and
Wow.
we asked the Smithereens to open for us, and that was their first gig in a like
In
a
a real
legit.
big club.
Yeah.
That's
Were
funny
they
as
playing
hell.
Kenny's Castaways?
They
at that
were.
point?
Yeah.
But what was the song you mentioned? I'm sorry.
I was saying from
The Wall of Sleep.
Bull Rushes.
You're right,
To,
it's got a
to
definite-
to Behind the Wall of Sleep.
Yes.
Or even Blood and Roses to About a Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By Nirvana.
Yeah.
All of the grooves are, but yeah, it's
Nirvana had we had their ear also. Yeah.
Yes.
no, About a Girl is very similar. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hey, man, another feather in your cap.
They
there.
came to see me, Nirvana. They were very nice.
Did they
When I-
come to see you?
Yeah, yeah. I
Really?
played backstage in Seattle.
Oh, dude,
and,
that's hilarious.
I was doing.
Did they crib that? I always thought they cribbed her
Yeah,
arrangement. of
they were
that.
there. Yeah.
That's so great. I bet they're really super nice guys, of course.
Very nice.
Yeah, really. Kurt
Very
was a
nice.
nice guy.
The nicest people can rip you off. No, I didn't feel
they
that.
can- they
I'm just
can.
kidding. Really, I'm just kidding.
No,
that
I'm
song
sure,
was
I'm
already
sure,
written by Bowie.
I'm sure
yeah.
only
She
nice,
was ripping
only
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
people rip you off. You know.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. They were nice and really gracious guys.
Man. So, what can we move on to here?
Well, if you want to do, do you want to do a song? I would suggest
Well-
that we do. You know, Barbarella was a really fun bongo song, and it's on the live album, and it really ties into what we talked about.
Let's
So,
do that.
Live album. There's always a live song for us that we. By the way, we're performing on November 10th at Sony Hall, the bongos.
Where's that?
With Marshall,
That's right in. What's that?
With Marshall Crenshaw.
It's a double bill with
Holy
Marshall Crenshaw.
shit.
We're Marshall's special guest.
Good bill.
And
Oh,
we're
dude, that's
very
gonna
happy
be
to be
such a
playing with
great
Marshall, who's
show.
our good
Oh,
pal.
my God.
And that's on November 10th. And you know, it'll be our last show for the year. You know, so come on down.
Man, can you
or
get
come on
me,
up
can
to
you get me a backstage
Midtown.
pass?
Yeah. No. Sure, I get backstage. They're not real, but I can make one for you.
Is Rob doing the gig?
They said it would work,
Wasn't he
man.
having health issues?
Rob has had health issues.
Yes. Rob Norris is there
Rob
is there
has
a
had health
is there a
issues.
GoFundMe for Rob Norris?
There is a GoFundMe. I think locally for him. There's something. It's on. You can find it on. If you go to my website, go to my any of my social media. I have a link tree, and there's a Help Rob Norris link on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's had health issues.
What's a wonderful human.
We're hoping he can. We're hoping he can do the show.
I love Rob.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know when he was James's roommate. James
Rob
McMillan.
was my roommate.
Yeah.
My
Probably in that same apartment that he and James lived in.
1118.
Yeah,
1118
no,
Hudson,
that's
yeah.
exactly what. That's what the same one. Yeah. And it's like Jared Nickerson is living in the same place that he got from. Who did he get it from? You know, the guy who moved to Turkey. You know, I should know this. I'm sorry. Pardon my memory. But anyway, he got the lease in '79.
Wow.
And he's
Wow.
still on. So he's like
Wow.
the
That
bathroom.
beats me on
the
my
bathroom
ride.
needs everything needs work, but it's not going to get work
Yeah.
because the rent ain't going up, man. And so it's like a $3,000 apartment for like $900. You know? So I love those stories. They still exist. There are still artists in Hoboken.
well, Hoboken was an artist community.
It was, but in year by year, when I moved here, whatever year that was, 89, 88, year by year it changed.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
like in a way that was radical. Now it hasn't changed really that much for a while, but boy, it changed. There was a time when I was living, I had a girlfriend Lisa, and we were really pissed off about the dog poop on the and there was even a Hoboken Reporter cover story about the dog poop.
Oh my God.
Because really, honestly, like nobody was picking up their dog's poop, and they passed a. I mean, you don't ever see it at all now, right? But you walk down Washington, and it would be like every 10 feet. So
It seems better now.
it was so funny how. But anyway, it's you helped make this town what it was.
Well, you know.
You know, come on, man, I'm serious.
We
You-
did one thing is, and we were criticized in the New York Times. There's an
You helped
article.
I'm sorry, you helped make this town what it was, is what I said.
Well, we helped. Okay, we also unfortunately were credited with raising rents here because
Oh, see, yeah.
there's an article in the New York Times talking
sure.
about the bongos. You know, it's like we were just doing our thing. Our apartment.
Everybody wanted to come here, yeah.
When I lived with Glenn, with the original 1118 Hudson, price
Like
for
300
that apartment.
$300 a
It was a
month.
top floor, 6th floor, and it was $88 a month.
80.
And
Not
and
90.
So
Not 90.
it's not 90. It was 88. So it was Glenn and myself and Rob originally. So we only had to pay what? How much is that each? Like not even $30, under $30 a month. So that's how
That
we
could
were
be
able
done.
to get started, though, because we could spend the time going to Benny Tadino's Pizza.
Benny's.
And writing songs and walking along. You know, I could imagine that the Hudson was where Baby Moses is in the bulrushes because I didn't have to worry about like a 9 to 5. But we did work, and we helped make a music scene here, and that was our job at that time. But the rent was $88. When I left there, the rent was getting close to $1,000.
Yeah.
And it was only 5 years later.
That's what I'm saying. Is it was just very, very weird that it was constantly changing,
Mm-hmm.
or constantly. I mean, like it was purposefully changing, pushed.
Yeah.
You know, and this was after the time of the fires.
Yeah, there was a terrible
that was
slew
the
of
70s,
fires.
right?
Delivered vacant.
Late 70s, early 80s was fires. It was
But-
very, very sad and bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's now. What
It's a
it
great
is.
town. It's still a great town. It was a
No,
great town then,
No,
and it's a
listen,
great town
I
now.
love Hoboken. I'm just saying, like, what I meant when I said what it was like it was an artist, you know,
Yeah.
hotbed.
Jackson
And-
Pollock
and now
was
it's just a
here,
really
too.
beautiful city that you're lucky to live in, you know.
Yeah. Did you know Hair? One of my favorite shows. I'm producing a tribute to Melba Moore, who was in the original cast of Hair, in Philadelphia on November 3rd. Please check it out. It's also in my link tree and on all my social media. Melba Moore's great. She was in Hair, and that was, you know, they casted it. You know, they did all the, I think auditions were in Hoboken. Did you know that? Yeah, early rehearsals and auditions for Hair were in Hoboken.
Those songs are so
because
great.
they could afford the space here to develop the show. It was for the public theater.
Yeah.
But they did auditions here. So anyway,
And they kept all of the
did a lot here.
Thanksgiving blimps over in
That's right.
north part of the town.
okay, but okay. So back to the Bongos. We had a song called Barbarella. Now, why is it Barbarella? And you know, I love Barbarella. I like the movie. I like the story. I like the sci-fi character. But really, the name came out of Annabella from Bow Wow Wow. Because we love Bow Wow Wow.
Bow Wow Wow.
And we saw them, and then, okay, so it's a mashup. I think you know this.
60,
I think you-
90, go.
So it's a mashup of Annabella and Barbarossa, the drummer.
Oh, wow. Who's the drummer?
Dave
Barbarossa?
Barbarossa
Oh, I know.
was the drummer of Bow Wow Wow.
Oh,
so
I
we were
get
like,
it.
So we
Okay.
had been doing, I don't know if we did shows with them, but we met them, and I was like, oh my God, I was
Annabelle.
so gaga for Bow Wow Wow. We
Oh,
love them.
God, they were just so rocking, man.
Barbarella, Barbarella, I got a feeling I lose control. I got a feeling you're gonna notice. I'm forgetting all that I know. Barbarella, you do this to me. Why don't we change the subject? Barbarella. Barbarella, well, I got no stake in the future. I've done it all through your eyes. When that last bulldozer drives up, Barbarella, I'll be with you. I said, Thank you. Always fun.
That song is so much better live than in the studio. It really is.
Well, yeah, Scott. Yeah, but on the live album.
Yeah,
Well, then that's a live, yeah.
That's why that's been a missing
You know,
link
it's always
for
been
me.
hard to capture the magic, you know. But
You go in the studio and there's a producer. A lot of us really, we're best left to our own devices. But we learn from producers. But I think best left to our own devices.
yeah.
Drums on the Hudson was really
It's
self-produced.
so pure, and it's
Yeah, we had an engineer. The producer was like the most, I don't know, best bedside manner of any engineer probably I've worked with since. Ken Thomas. He had worked
Ken
on
Thomas,
the Wire
yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Wire, Pink Flag, one of my
Wire,
favorite
such a
albums.
great record.
But he also was an engineer like on Elton John's Rocket Man.
No way.
Yeah, he worked on all these records as an assistant, whatever. And he had been building his catalog of work. But he worked with us after Wire. And he's just like, let us do whatever. He knew, let them do. This is indie rock. This is alternative rock.
Let these
them
kids
do their
jump
thing.
around, yeah.
And he was able to get the sounds really tight. And we did that whole album quickly because he had all these guitar amps. My guitar was fed through about maybe 5 or 6 different amps. And then he would just choose which one was used on each song. Like I just played everything through everything. So he let us just play like it was a show. And then later was able to pick what sounds worked best for each song.
Wow.
So that was great. It was us, very us. But I like all our records for different reasons. Because it's a growing process, learning different things, learning different studio things, playing with different toys in the studio. So I'm proud of all of our work, but I'm glad we have a live album because that's the side of us that was never really available before.
So what are you doing next?
Next, and what am I doing? Well, I'm really enjoying my show producing shows.
Producing what kind of shows?
Concerts. I do. I started in 2003.
Promoting and producing.
Not on promote. I produced the show. All right. So in 2023 is when I started this. I wanted to produce a tribute to Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
I just love Peggy Lee.
Hell yeah.
As a child and as an adult, and then I met her and I told her I'm going to produce a tribute to you, and then she passed.
Oh, you met her. That's
yeah,
heavy.
yeah. I met her several times, and then I said I'm going to produce a tribute to you at Carnegie Hall. I had never done this before. I had never.
Did that happen?
Yes, I went to George
Jesus.
Wein, who was the founder of the Newport Folk Festival and Newport Jazz Festival. I went to Mr. Wein and I said, I want to produce a tribute to Peggy Lee. What do you want to do, kid? What do you want to do? I said, I want to have different artists do her songs. She wrote many of them, and tell her story.
Did she write songs? I didn't know that.
She wrote many of the songs, starting in the 1940s.
Wow. Did she write Fever?
No, she did not write Fever, but she was smart enough to do Fever.
Oh yeah.
She
yeah.
had a great
One of the
ear
greatest
for what
singles
to
of all
do, but
time,
she
yeah.
wrote a lot of her songs, and then she also knew which songs to do by others. She was very super smart. So, what's that? She wrote Lady in the
She
Tramp.
did not write Lady in the Tramp.
She did.
Wow.
She did.
That's
She
great.
wrote, yeah, and Quincy Jones was her arranger, and they became romantically involved. It's a beautiful story. It's just awesome.
You
Anyway, I
mean
love her.
you mean she wrote The Lady is a Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp Disney film.
That's different, yeah, than The Lady is a Tramp.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Lady and the Tramp. It's a dog. It's a
She
story
gets too
about
hungry
dogs.
for dinner at 8. That's like,
Lady's a dog.
Yeah.
And she also did the voice of the character. She's
oh, she
awesome.
did not. She was the dog.
She was the dog, yeah. Anyway, I love Peggy, and so I went to George Wayne, and I had to go to this board. I had never done any of this before. I'm a punk rocker. I went to the board meeting for his company, and he said, "Okay, tell them what you want to do." So I went up there, and I had all these people staring at me like, "Who is this kid?" And I said I had this idea for a show. I wanted Nancy Sinatra in it. I wanted all these different characters doing
Shit.
Peggy songs, and George listened to me and then just told everyone there, give the kid what he wants, and walked out.
I like it a lot. And
So
it
I had a
it
budget.
happened.
I had a budget of
Is that
almost
on film?
$200,000 to do that show, and it was a benefit for the Society of Singers, which gives money to singers who are on the down and out.
What year was that?
That was 2003.
That's amazing.
So then-
Is there a footage of that or any kind of...
Well, there's a lot of there are articles and reviews. The people liked it,
Uh-huh.
but they can't film in Carnegie without an extra $30,000.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, so then during the show, because at first George was like, what are you doing? I had a choreographer. I had all this stuff. And George was thought I was nuts. But it was actually good, really seamless. The choreography got people on and off the stage seamlessly, even if they were older. It really worked. So in the middle of the show, during intermission, I got a tap on I was backstage doing The Voice of God. ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Sinatra. And then I got this tap, and I was like, yes. And it was the people that booked the Hollywood Bowl. And they said, can you bring this to the bowl?
Oh, wow.
And I got
You
to
said
bring
absolutely
that to
not.
the following year to the Hollywood Bowl. So that's when
Wow.
I started producing.
Did you do it at the bowl?
Yes.
Holy
Sold
crap.
out in about a couple of hours.
And I thought I had accomplished something because I met Hillary Clinton.
Well, Hillary's awesome. I love Hillary.
But I thought that was a high achievement. But
I'm
man,
just
no, I
saying
guess.
that it was because I wanted to do that. I love her music and I wanted to do it. So I got the LA Philharmonic and I got a big band. I had
A
Quincy Jones in it.
Philharmonic? How do you pay these guys? This
Well,
is like
because
scale
we-
stuff.
Because we became part of the Playboy Jazz Festival.
The Playboy
It was
Jazz Festival, of
awesome,
course,
yeah.
not to be missed. God, that's crazy, man.
You
But
have your money.
you've got
All I can say
Richard
is-
Barone. You are an accomplished individual,
All I can
man.
say, I'm just telling you what I like to do. So
Well, that's it's
So-
really inspiring. It's
So
hugely
I love.
inspiring.
I'm doing this now. And this show's on November 3rd. Is a tribute to Melba Moore, who I like very much, and I
Okay.
like her Broadway work, and I like her disco music, and we're going.
What's
to,
her disco song?
She has a ton of disco.
I-
hits.
I'm
Her
afraid-
first week was called "This Is It." One of my favorites is called "Pick Me Up, I'll Dance." You may not know them,
Yeah.
but when I was growing up and I was going to, the only club in Florida that it was tolerable to go to was a dance club, and I would learn her songs, and I liked her Broadway work when I saw her in Pearly. I'm doing a song from Pearly in that show. That was a black musical. It was in 1970.
Mm-hmm.
Really great stuff, and we're going to be paying tribute to her. So I'm really excited about
So
that.
that's the next
what
thing.
That's what the Philadelphia.
A show, a
That's at the Kimmel
tribute to
Center with the Philadelphia.
the Kennedy Center,
the Kimmel.
the
Center.
Kimmel Center. Oh, well, that's
in
still a great
Philadelphia.
center.
Yeah. The Kennedy Center is no longer booked by
No, it's,
anyone that would book me.
No, it's booked by Goebbels. So that's well. So
So that's,
should-
that's what I'm doing. I'm enjoying my production. I'm going
and you're
to,
teaching at the new school.
I'm teaching at the new
That's
school, and in
great.
December I'm going to Rome to teach at the University
Holy
of Rome.
moly.
Yeah, at the Sapienza University
What are you going
of
to teach?
Rome.
The same course
I'm going to teach on the same subject.
to Italian students or
Yes,
American?
Italian.
But is it good? You're going to teach in English.
I'm going to teach in English.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get as much Italian.
So you how long in Rome?
I'm just there for a few weeks.
Still,
Yeah. But
not so
The
bad.
Sapienza University of Rome was founded in the 1300s.
right?
And there's over 100,000 students in that university. It's fantastic.
And
I'm really excited to go.
Think of the number of dropouts they've had in that time.
Including Federico Fellini as a dropout.
700 years of dropouts. That's a song right there.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm very excited to go. I'm Italian, but I really have never really spent much time in Italy. We were never booked. The Bongos never got to play Italy because our manager, or our agent said
Italy is
they're not
hard
gonna
to
pay
play.
you.
No, Italy is like, here's the paper bag
Really?
of the cash, and it's enough. And if you question us, there's a problem. Just leave.
So
That's
I'm
really how Italy. I'm sorry. It's just
So
playing
we-
there is very different, man.
We never played there, so I'm really excited to
Yeah.
go. So that's in December of this year.
Well, that's really huge.
And then I have the finals for my Music and Revolution class are at the Bitter End on December 8th. Yeah, it's a history class.
The
but
bitter
I got,
end. First of all, just back. The
Oh, and
bitter.
they asked me.
the
Wait, they
fact
asked me.
that the
I'll say
bitter
this
end
on
is.
camera. They actually asked me to ask if you'd like to play there.
I will play there in a minute.
Well, let's book
the
that.
bitter. The bitter end is. The bitter end is still there.
You need to, and they have the best sound system.
I
there.
love that place so much.
It's a
man.
beautiful room. They have refined. Their
I only
sound
ever
system.
saw people there. I never played there for some reason.
You love it. So I'm gonna now. It's, on camera, I'm asking because they did write to me. They
the
texted
back,
me this
the back
morning.
fence is long.
Really?
Gone. The back fence is long gone, right?
Yeah.
That's
The
stupid.
Bitter End is class. It's been there
But the
since
bitter end is
1960
still there.
since '61.
Bob played there.
Yeah.
Bob. I mean, when you got one name, you're pretty big.
But you know, Stevie
know?
Wonder played there for like a week in the
Stevie
70s.
has one name.
Lady Gaga got it. It
Gaga
goes
has
on.
one name. Yeah, it's crazy. Did Gaga really play there?
Yes, of
There's
course.
a Donny Hathaway album.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
amazing.
great.
You can still do a gig at the bitter end. You can still book a recording session at Sun Studios.
Yes.
You know, it's not all gone.
Some things
I
still
mean,
remain.
yeah, exactly. You know, they ain't gonna take away our, rock and roll, man. Anyway, well, let's end the night with a song that you cover by to me. Well, I think it's clear, not to me. I think the great in whatever this art form is in this room here,
Yeah.
the greatest accomplished artist was David Bowie.
I think so.
I mean, he went from he never had a dull moment and never a bum moment, and was always pushing forward and was so freaking beyond anybody else.
I think he worked hard to get where he got. It didn't come as easy to him as others, believe it or not. Like he had to find, I think, his voice.
But he did.
He did.
His first single was a #1 hit or whatever, you know.
His Space Oddity was a hit, and then it was a quiet period for a little bit. But I think, with Bowie, and it's with the Beatles and certain artists, and I really respect these artists that are true fans.
Oh yeah.
Bowie was a true fan of rock and roll. Like, he loved
Right.
the Velvet Underground and Lou Reed. He loved Mott the Hoople. He loved Iggy Pop.
Even all his whole life, he listened to everything.
And he wanted to embody those artists, and that's why the more he just let that come out of him, the more successful he was. He was kind of like the embodiment of rock and roll history. He was a listener. He was a fan. That's what I think.
I totally agree. He was an active listener.
Yeah.
Like he was listening to what was going on and responding to it immediately.
He really
like when he
was.
went
He loved
from
Dylan. He
it went
liked
from
him all.
Spiders, Spiders of Mars to doing Young Americans.
Yeah.
In like a very short amount of
I
time,
know.
and being a whole different person. Just anyway. So we're gonna do a song by David Bowie, of course, and Richard Barone. I love you, man.
Thank you. Freddie, thank you.
What did I do?
Okay, here you go.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for telling the Tuesday Night Live fans the honestly fascinating story of Richard Barone's career. If I had even like 1/10 of that, I'd be like, yeah, you talking to me? But
I'm
it's
just
like,
a hardworking musician.
well, man, it's very it's great to have you, and we will. We'll do it again, man. Jerry's talking about doing a Tuesday Night Live All Stars at some point, So
Let me add that on this Saturday night, there is a show at the Cutting Room in New York that is Gem Records celebrates. The Gem Records is the label that first put out the bongo stuff. They even put out James and I. We made an album in '83 called Nuts and Bolts. That was through Gem. Well, they're doing a show. I'll be performing this song there because it's on a current album on Gem Records called Gem Records Celebrates David Bowie on vinyl.
Oh, that's great.
On gold vinyl.
gold.
So I recommend
That's
that maybe
expensive.
the store have a few copies. I'll be happy to sign one for
It's
you.
all gold. All my vinyl's all gold.
It
Yeah.
looks really cool. It's on
Everything's
gold.
gold.
Hey, hey now. Hello, love. Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh, I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh, some cat was laying down some rock and roll, I totally said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came down like a slow voice on a wave of fate. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us. He thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to go because he knows it's almost what he told me. Let the children use it. Let the children lose it. Let all the children boogie. I had to phone someone, so I picked on you. Ooh, ooh. Hey, that's far out, so you heard him too. Ooh, ooh. Switch on the TV, you may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in fright. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to go
Richard Barone. Thank you, man. That was awesome. We're gonna do a camera pan. I have to mention, I hate to talk about myself at all, but I have to mention or I'll be in trouble. That someone's making a documentary about me. It's gonna expose all the crimes, and I will put up the thing at the end because there's a Kickstarter for it. That's all. But Richard Barone, thank you, my friend, and you're an accomplished and talented mofo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Freddie. I
folks.
really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
all.
We're gonna just pan the camera around. You can put on the house music, and the show's over. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all, really. Hope you had a good time.
I think they had a good time. Look at all the folks out there.
Wow.
Thanks, Trent.
All those drinks?
Appreciate it. You guys helped out so much. Thanks for coming.
I consider myself a roadie now.
Beautiful. You're voting now. Sorry, dude.
I need to join the union.
Your money. Yeah, man. I think that's a good shot. That's a good shot of the store. Okay, let's leave it there for a bit.
I was scared I was going to knock it off.
That's right. And the Bongo CD.
And the Bongo CD.